Hello and welcome to the setup video for PSMA forecasting on Windows. So you may or may not have Anaconda installed on your computer. I would recommend for this course that you use Anaconda because that will give you access to the package manager Conda, which will allow us to easily set up the environment we want to work in. So if you've not got it, hop over to anaconda.com and there's a big green button that says download on it. Click on that and that will take you through to the download page. If you're on Windows, it will take you straight to the Windows version you need, and you need to download Python 3.7. So download and install that. That will take several minutes to do, depending on your internet connection. I've already done that. So once you've installed Anaconda, head over to github.com/tommonks/psma-forecasting. That's this address here at the top. That's going to take you to the GitHub repo that has all of the code in it for this course. So if you're not familiar with GitHub, don't worry too much. All you really need to know is it's a way of controlling the versions of your code. So in this case, we've got a data folder that contains all the time series data that we're going to use in this course. We've got a folder called forecast, which is a custom package PenCord has put together to help you with some of the simple forecasting we're going to do. And then we've got a series of lecture Jupyter notebooks. So all of the coding lectures are through Jupyter, which you'll be familiar with by now. So you can follow along and code along as we go through the lectures. And there's some practical material. So anything labelled practical with solutions on the end obviously contains the answers. So for practical 1, for example, you really want to be looking at practical1.ipynb. Feel free to dip into solutions when you've had a go. There's also a README file which is displayed at the bottom here, and this helps us set up a conda environment with all of the correct versions of libraries installed. So first of all, before we get into that, what we're going to do is we're going to download all of this code. So you'll see there's a big green button that says clone or download. Don't worry about version control, we're just going to download the zip file. And let's save that. I'm on Windows, so I have to click multiple buttons to do a simple operation. So here's the folder, so that's downloaded it to downloads. So sorry, this is a zip file in downloads, so let's right click on that and extract all. So that's created a new folder, a subfolder within downloads, which contains PSMA forecasting master. So let's copy that file, that folder, and go to documents and paste that there. You can paste it wherever you want. I'm putting it in documents because that's an easy place to find it. If you double click on that, you can see all of your files. Brilliant. So the next thing we need to do is set up our environment, and all of that's contained within something called a YAML file, a YAML file. If we click on that, we can see what's in that, and it's basically going to create an environment called PSMA forecast, and that contains the key libraries that we need for this course. So for example, it's going to install pandas version 1.01. So to do that, what we need to do is load up the Anaconda prompt. Let's just go back a page. And then once we've opened Anaconda prompt, we've got some instructions here. So this will be installed on your Windows box if you've installed Anaconda. So Anaconda prompt. And that's just a simple command prompt. So if we go to cd documents what we can see in there is we've got the folder PSMA Forecasting Master. So let's go CD PSMA Forecasting Master, and then that's our directory that contains all of our files, and this is our environment file that contains all of the versions that we need to do. So this gives you a series of commands you need to run in Anaconda prompt. The first one is just to make sure you've got the most up-to-date version of conda, which is the package manager. I've already run that in advance, so I just typed in conda, update conda, took a few seconds, and it downloaded the most up-to-date package, asked me if it was okay to install it. I said yes, and it very quickly installed it. The next instruction is to type in conda space env, which stands for environment, space create space -f environment.yml, and that's saying create a conda environment from this environment file. So let's copy that, go back to our directory, and you can only run that if you're in the correct directory, obviously. So if you just right click, that will automatically paste that in for you. And if you press enter, that activates conda. It reads in the command that it needs to create a new environment, and it then will go away to its own repos to find the correct versions of those files within the environment and install them. This will be a bit quicker on your machine. I'm running Windows in a virtual environment on my Linux box, so it hasn't got a huge amount of processing power. But it will take probably a few minutes. So it's solved the environment. That means it's going to then look at what transactions it needs to make, i.e. what things it needs to install. Okay, so that's all now installed. It took a few minutes. So now what it's telling us to do is exactly what it was saying on our README file, is we need to activate our PSMA forecast environment. So to do that, we just type conda activate PSMA _forecast. Now what you can see is that this in brackets here has changed from base to PSMA forecast. So this is our specialist environment that we've set up exactly for this forecasting course. So most of this course is being run with Jupyter Lab. That will have been installed. So you just type Jupyter, Jupyter, Jupyter -lab, and if you run that, that will launch Jupyter Lab very slowly on a virtual machine, but hopefully much quicker on your machine. So what you have here is a directory structure, so we can see all of our lectures and all of our practicals. So it's just a view of your folders and files within them. And then on this screen next to it, you have the actual lectures themselves that we'll go through. So you can hide this side panel if you want by clicking on this file browser tab there. That gives you more screen. If you've never used Jupyter before, don't panic. It's really very straightforward to use. So it's a mix of text and code. And it has cells. So this is a code cell. So to run this cell, we just need to click on this play button here. And that will run that cell for us. This cell imports pandas and numpy. And then the cell below it, we can run that as well. If you don't want to have to keep going up to the play button, you can just press Shift Enter, and that will run the cell for you. And it'll be much quicker on your machine, which is set up properly for Windows. So that's it. So you've now got everything you need for the course, all set up, and you're using all of the correct versions of files. Well done.